All right, welcome to RU 703. Good to have you all here today. Hope your day, your week has been going well. Trying to help each other find and maintain our walk with the Lord. I think I'm going to do this, and then after we're done, we'll have some testimonies. I'll get done just a little bit early. So let's just go ahead and go through our 10 principles, and we'll just get right in this thing, all right? So principle number 1 says, if God's against it, so am I. Number 2, every sin has its origin in our heart. Number 3, it's easier to keep the heart clean than to clean it after it's been defiled. Number 4, we cannot fight a fleshly appetite by indulging in it. Number 5, small compromises lead to great disasters. Number 6, those who do not love the Lord will not help you serve the Lord. Number 7, our sinful habits do hurt those who follow us. Number 8, it's not possible to fight a fleshly temptation with a fleshly weapon. Number 9, we lose our freedom to choose when we give in to temptation. Our consequences are inevitable, incalculable, and up to God. Number 10, God balances guilt with blame. Accept the blame for your actions, and God will remove the guilt. Okay? Hey guys, how you doing? Good to see you. Go ahead and take a seat, and I'll get with you in just a minute, okay? Psalms 1 is, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. All right, Sarah, you got a couple of envelopes for them? Okay. Just go ahead and look through those if you like. And I'm going to teach just a little bit, and then we're live streaming, so I'll shut that off, and I'll be able to talk to you, and we'll get stuff going with y'all there, all right? So I kind of had two things ready for right now, and I just last second I decided to go with this one. So it's Proverbs 18:22. Proverbs 18:22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of the Lord. Now, I understand not everybody's married, and that's all right, because it's not necessarily just talking about how to find a good wife. It's how to have a good relationship with someone else. Bottom line is it's how to have a good relationship with someone else. And even if you're already married and you're a husband or a wife, how can you, in a marriage, a relationship that's already there, a friendship, how can you find a good other person, even though you're already there? I'm not talking about getting rid of the one you have and finding a new one, okay? But in that relationship, how can we help that relationship? How can we grow a relationship from within, or how do we, if we're looking for one, what are we looking for? Okay, so when we enter into a relationship, with quotes, we find another person. We're to use wisdom and discernment from the Lord when we, again, air quotes there, to choose a friend or a spouse. And we look at this finding, we look at it like this. It's like we're out hunting. We're out seeking this person, and because of our diligent effort, we find the right person. This is not true. That's just not the way it's supposed to work. The reality of the process is the opposite. What's really going on with us most of the time is we're just kind of stumbling around in the dark with a blindfold on. And the Lord is leading us down a path of his choosing, and at the same time leads the other person down their path. I look at my relationship with my wife. Here, I'm not even saved at the time, and I was working in a restaurant, and I had a fairly bad reputation, and the types of girls that I was attracted to at that time was kind of the wild women kind of stuff, and just it's just I'm just kind of doing this, and God on the other side of the equation had brought Sarah up, and her dad at one time was a preacher, sheriff, all these other things, but a godly family. They served the Lord. She'd been saved since 5 years old. She's really living for the Lord. It's just a totally opposite and opposite direction lifestyle. Not anything even close. And it wasn't me looking for her, and it wasn't her looking for me. It was the Lord brought our paths together. And that's what happened. God did this. Neither one of us was even looking. Okay? And that's what really happens to meet the person, that you're supposed to be with. It's got to be the Lord bringing you together, whether it's a spouse or a friend, because friends that God wants to be friends, real friends, God brings them together because this person needs this person and this person needs that person. And together, they're more than they were apart. That's what a relationship is supposed to be. So we meet at God's appointed time and place, and the best way to find a good spouse or friend is to look for God. So if I want to find somebody, I'm not out searching. I need to be looking for the Lord because the Lord knows what I need and will provide. But I've got to have that relationship with Him first. That's where my eyes have to be, is on Him. So we're the best way to find it is to look to Him. We're to trust and obey. We're to follow. God leads, God delivers, and we receive. And so let's say you're already married. I'm already married. But in my marriage or in a friendship or in a relationship, you can find a good spouse. Not that you throw away the one you have and like redo. It's not that at all. But you can find a good spouse by becoming the spouse that God wants you to be. So in my marriage, for me to find a good spouse, I need to become who God wants me to be. Now, I can't change another person. You cannot change another person. Please don't go down that path. It's not going to work. Well, you need to do this. You need to do this. It's just not going to work. It's just going to cause fights. It's going to cause animosity. It's just not going to work. But we can always change ourselves. I can change me. This is the one that I can change. When our relationship is rough, when there's differences, even when it's broken, we can always change. I can't do anything about the other person, but I can change me, okay? And when we'll allow God to work in our heart, when He writes His laws, His commands, it's His wisdom on what the Bible calls the tables of our heart, when we allow Him to change our heart and put what He wants in there, okay, then what's going to happen is we will change. Our outside will change. God will use the change in us, the Christ in us. He will use that at His time, place, and way to reach out to that other person. That's His job. That's His job to talk to them, to change them, do that. Not mine. I am to just be the best that I can be. And God will do through me and through others what He wants to do with that other person. Okay, and watch this. If it never works, it never works, but I still have to do what I can do. That's all I can do. But I'll tell you from experience, from myself, I tell you from experience, from people that I've seen, when one person will just take that step and just say, I'm going to be the best me that I can be, the best husband, the best friend, the best son, the best father, the best wife, the best sister. When I do that, almost every time that I've seen, the other person does change also. Because they see something there that causes them to want to respond to it. So when we stop trying to change someone, then God will change them. Now, so for us to find a good spouse, we have to quit looking outwards. We have to look at ourselves. We have to become the spouse that God wants us to meet. God is in charge of changing others, not us. We've got to get away from that thing. We work awfully hard at trying to change others, and it just will not work. If we're going to do what God wants us to do to become who He wants us to be, He will deal with the others in our life. God can heal a hurting relationship. He can. I promise you, He can. He can do all things. He can fix a broken relationship. I've seen relationships that you just say, there's no way our relationship was that at one time. Everybody told Sarah, you need to leave him. Everybody. Preachers, parents, friends, everybody, except for one man, said, could God do this? And she said yes. then he said, you got to stay. And God did. Okay, God changed me, not her. And all it takes is one person who's willing to humble themselves and pray. To humble yourself and pray. Because for me to do this, I have to say to God, I'm a mess. I am broken. I'm no good. Please help me change me. And when I'll humble myself and pray and seek his face, not ask him to do things for me, just seek his face to have that relationship with him, that's when he says, okay, now I'll forgive you, me, and I will heal your broken relationship. That's how the Lord works. That's what he does. So to find a good spouse, we have to look for God. God will heal the broken person, and he can use the change in us to soften the heart of our spouse, our friend, or whatever that relationship is. But we have to be willing to just do whatever it is that God wants. We got to get out of the fixing business, because that's not what God wants us to do, and it's not going to work. It's just going to hurt things, and it's going to break things apart. All right. So, wow, I'm done really early. Go ahead and shut that down, Quinn. All right.